Hey, I'm NichBoy and welcome to Pocket, and today I'm checking out The Town of Light by developer LKA. This is a psychological adventure game set in the first half of the 20th century in Italy. Now, one of the features of the game, besides the fact that it lists beautiful graphics and immersive story, is that it has absolutely no vampires or supernatural beings in it. So I guess it's trying to tell me that there's nothing weirdly scary about this game. And I guess nothing scary did happen in the first half of the 20th century, except for the First World War and the Second World War. And there were lots of dark cupboards. A long history of creeping people out. Let's dive in and take a look. The Town of Light is based on real facts and places, as well as long documentation concerning mental illness and the life of patients in lunatic asylums from the beginning of the 20th century until their closure. I started off high-pitched and almost in a mocking tone, and then ended by going, right. It contains stories which may be disturbing. We advise its use exclusively by a public of adults. Is that the collective noun for adults? A public? Volterra, 1942. Oof. That's pretty close to the end of the first half of the 20th century.
What's happened? What kind of place is this? Maybe I'm dead. I can't see any light. I might be dead. I can't get up. What's going on here? What's happening to me? There's no one here. Yet, these noises. God, my head is killing me. I can't keep my eyes open.
What is she, a porn star from 1942? What is this acting? Seriously, if you made her Italian, I wouldn't have even noticed that the line reading was awful. Reality fades away and my skin is gone. Every breath of wind is excruciatingly painful. Inspired by real facts and events. I shouldn't laugh. It's just, the game alternates between going, this is a true story, psychological, mental illness, I'm in pain, this all happened. Okay. Tuscany 2016. Well and truly out of the first half of the 20th century. Let's go in the house, which is creepy. But remember, nothing supernatural. Oh, definitely drink something out of an old fridge. Why is there, like, an Italian Emmy in here? Game Connection European Games Booster. Excellence in story and storytelling. What? Is that a real award? Are they gloating? Were they like, we won this? And so we need to figure out how to tell people about the award. Just gonna shut it in the fridge. Game Connection Development Awards, Excellence in Story and Storytelling. How many of these did you win? I get it, LKA. You're the naughty dog of Europe. Getting worried there. I was like, I wonder if that's gonna open. LKA.it. It's a clever way of showing you a website. Very well timed with the music, Nick. You're a pro.
This place. Time. Memory.
J to access the synopsis menu. That's child abuse. Kids just dangling there, popping its arms out of its shoulders. Volterra, 1942. What's happened? I can't keep my eyes open. This place, time, memory. I'll tell you what. When you see it all just written down there, you really think maybe you could have gone with the second draft. Memories. No memories other than that awful dialogue. Medical records, nothing yet. Okay, so this is a lunatic asylum from, I'm guessing, 1942. I'm now in 2016, breaking and entering.
The only thing I remember clearly is Charlotte, my doll.
There seems to be power. Ugh. Okay, so I guess I was a child and I was in this asylum, and now I'm at least 74, depending on how old I was when I went into the asylum. But I still sound 16. I'm a young 74. Okay, I need to find the doll. She wants to find Charlotte. So, through here? Because that's an elevator and I turned on power? Yes. Charlotte is just sitting in the elevator. I could take the stairs, but these old hips probably can't handle it. Alright, Charlotte's here somewhere. Charlotte. Only you could be Charlotte. Nice and creepy.
Mummy took good care of Charlotte. She tucked her in, hugged her, gave her cuddles and kisses. She was very affectionate and loving. Nothing bad happened to Charlotte, and I was amazed. I did not understand. At first, I was quite afraid. I feared that she wanted to hurt me.
Charlotte or the mum?
I was constantly expecting the moment when Mum would abandon her. Because I did not deserve to live. I did not deserve to be loved.
This is some weighty concepts, but I'm distracted by the incredibly young hands.
It's cold. It's dark. Now she's cold. She'll get ill. We can take care of her. It's not forbidden. Charlotte is a good girl.
Oh God. Please put the doll away. I don't want to laugh because it's trying to tell a story that games don't usually tell. I think it's just that creepy doll face is staring up at me everywhere I move now. Also, we need to reevaluate whether or not she was in that asylum in 1942 because, I mean, these are the hands of a teenager. Or at the very least, someone in their 20s. There's a nice touch here when you look down, her thumb is just sort of rubbing against the doll, sort of like wistfully, and she's also sort of like caressing the head a bit as well. She's kind of like, there's memory there, which is sort of like a nice idle animation, which is a nice touch. And speaking of memories, maybe the flashback I had with creepy mum is in the memories? Yes, there she is. That doll. All right.
Charlotte is cold. Let's find her a warm place.
Okay, I need to find Charlotte a warm place. Well, the music is telling me I'm somewhere significant.
Those lamps might make the room warmer. But Charlotte's uncomfortable. She doesn't feel well. He doesn't want to. No, in the town of light, he doesn't want to.
Alrighty.
I saw a wheelchair on the ground floor.
Aha!
It's a convenient place, and we can get Charlotte into a warm place.
Cool. Doesn't work because the door is open. I'm now being creeped out by the fact that I'm opening and closing doors while holding a doll, and my arms aren't moving. Wheelchair, there it is.
This is a comfortable place for Charlotte. But it's cold. No, it's cold. Don't shiver, Charlotte. The cold will go away. We need to find warm lights. Let's go into the surgical ward.
Oh, that's a tight fit. All right. Surgery was down here.
The cold goes away, you see? The light. Warmth. We can do it. The cold goes away. It's not forbidden.
I get the feeling lots of things were forbidden.
Now we can go to that ward, where everything started.
Press H to receive help.
It all began in the observation ward on the ground floor.
Can I leave Charlotte? I'm gonna say yes. You just sit tight. Here. All right. Did everything just get, like, better? No. No, it did not. All right. Whoa.
One day I turned off the light, but it didn't go dark. It was a limitless immensity, a blinding, merciless light. I was 16 and I was afraid, always afraid, a fear that wore me down. I needed help, but I could not speak. Everything terrified me, even thinking. They said they were taking me to a place where the fear would go away, where I would get better. I stopped living in there. They dragged me away and tore off all of my clothes, every last stitch. I tried to explain what was going on in my head. They tied me to the bed for days, alone with my nightmares. It wasn't fear anymore. It was madness. And when you're mad, you cease to exist.
Oh, wow.
She was my only hope in this hell. I was falling down amongst the damned, but that woman and her smile kept me alive. The door's locked from the outside. Here, the doors can only be locked and unlocked from the outside.
Alrighty. How do I feel about the bars on the windows? Or that.
You can't get out of here. Only the dead can leave.
That's locked. Oh, Charlotte. Why, Charlotte? Oh, no. No!
He laughed, panted, lurched over me. It hurt when he touched me. I thought I'd split apart suddenly with a loud thud, shattered into pieces. I felt fragile, sick, dirty, filthy. All I could do was clutch Charlotte tightly while Renee obeyed. He was the boss in the realm of light. I was devoured by the evil I had done. I threw up and could feel hell getting closer and closer. My God, those medical examinations. The doctors said there was something inside me.
Oh, God.
Which they would have dragged out of me. My God.
Okay, so that was the Town of Light. That kind of took me on a journey because at the beginning, I kind of didn't like it. I felt that it was kind of derivative of horror tropes. We've got this creepy doll with a broken face. We've got this voiceover that's extremely heavy-handed. We put the doll in an old wheelchair that we're pushing through an abandoned, creepy hospital. A lot of that is horror stuff that we've seen before. But then it transitions into these other styles of narrative. We've got those sort of grey flashbacks, seeing what the hospital was like when we were there with other people. And then we've got that sort of hand-drawn animated style stuff as well for more of the disturbing imagery, I guess, in the game. And also I feel like at that point that's more of a look into her mind. So I feel like we have three styles going on here. The 3D stuff is what is actually happening right now. The flashbacks are what happened back then, and then the hand-drawn stuff seems to be what she saw in her mind. It's a lot of shadows with creepy devil hands and that sort of thing. I completely commend the game for the kind of storytelling that it's trying to do. The issue that it's looking at, mental health, is something that I have gone on record on the show as saying that I would love to see more things treated with more care about this, rather than the psychopath is just a murderer. So it is tackling that kind of weighty subject matter in an interesting way. If it has to use some clunky device mechanics, like we've seen those sort of horror tropes at the beginning, in order to tell the story that they're trying to tell, then I feel like ultimately the ambition for me outweighs any of the negative stuff I had at the beginning. And that makes me interested in seeing more of this. There are very few games that look at mental illness at all, let alone look at it in, you know, a kind of realistic way. Those institutions were not nice places to be back then. In fact, they're not nice places to be now. This is not a look into a world that we normally see in games. So I think that, you know, I credit the developers for that. I'm interested in playing more, and I hope that they do manage to tie these styles and this narrative device together by the end of the game to do justice to the kind of themes that they're actually trying to look at. All right, that's it for today's episode of Pocket. My Pocketeers, NichBoy out.